Welcome to Why Just Why, the show in which a process analyst discusses the futility of everyday actions. This episode, doing things for the next one. What I think is highly inefficient, but seems to be social standards many live by, is doing things for the next one. Every time I am at the checkout at a grocery store, I become the source of all evil and the target for the social crusader. I do not put the little separator thingy on the conveyor belt behind my shopping. How dare I not to mark the end to my universe? Oftentimes the person behind me grabs one and smashes it down, glaring at me. Sometimes even shoving me aside to acquire the so desired symbol of order. Why don't I put it down myself? Because it is illogical in a procedural way. The act of border control should be the first step in everybody's own checkout process. Check if there's someone in front of us. If yes, then we build a rampart to protect our desired belongings. If not, we just pay and leave. What if we just secure our perimeter behind us no matter what? Would that be advisable? No. At first, it might not seem so bad. We just stake out our territory and go on. But what if there's nobody coming from whom we have to separate ourselves? In that case, we not only wasted our time and energy erecting this metaphorical wall, but also the cashiers, who has to figuratively tear it down. But let's assume we really want to be so kind and draw a line, but not want to waste time or energy. In this case, we start off checking if someone is behind us. If yes, then we close the frontier and carry on. If not, then we check if there's someone in front of us. If not, then we pay. If yes, we shall partake in the waiting game. Now, there are two paths depending on what happens next. Either our turn to pay comes first, or a challenger appears. In this case, we have to notice this event and then mark ourselves off from the contestant. Or we could just check if there's someone in front of us. There is another example I face at work, the communal water kettle. It usually contains 1 to 1.5 liters of 20 to 100 degree warm water. Why, you wonder? I did actually ask around and got the answer. After someone used the kettle for oneself, one does fill the kettle, depending on own gusto, but at least 1 liter. I cannot explain why. Turn it on and leave. Just in case someone after me wants also warm water. I even witnessed someone encountering an empty kettle and murmuring how impolite this is. What the hell? What might our standard procedure be in order to get hot water? We take the kettle, fill our needed amount of water in, flick the switch and wait until it goes beep. Sounds simple enough. How does it look if we want to operate the communal water kettle? We know there is some water in the kettle, so we have to check if it is sufficient for our cause. And it most probably is, because it usually contains a whole bloody liter. Next, we check the water temperature. Because we know it is somewhere between 20 and 100 degrees, we most probably have to fire it up again. After it reaches a boil, we can take our share. If we submit to the madness, we refill what we took and turn on the kettle again. Let's assume at the beginning the amount was not sufficient and we had to actually refill the kettle. The problem we face now is that even if the water already in had been heated, we lower the temperature by adding cold one, resulting in most probably having to turn on the kettle. The reason why I come to these assumptions is because the frequency of people in need of hot water is just not high enough. The temperature will most probably fall under the usable 80 degree. That is still okay for green tea. So we have to turn on the kettle and waste energy. Furthermore, the whole amount of 1 to 1.5 liters will most likely never be used. I've never seen someone using a big teapot or thermos that would interfere with coffee breaks. This means if we just want a cup of tea, we have to heat up over the triple amount of water, what is just a waste of time. Even if the water is still somewhat warm, it will probably take at least the same amount of time because of the sheer amount that has to be heated. For once, I wish people would just take care of their own business.